My name is Sharon, and I'm the Healing Justice Program Director in Minnesota. I am one of the newest AFSC staff and had the pleasure of working with Michael for about 5 months. The things that I loved about Michael McConnell, I found him to be wise, supportive, kind, and funny. He was really ideal as a manager. And the thing about him that most impressed me was his willingness to accommodate different work styles. When I went to Chicago in the first week of work, we were sitting in his office and talking about how we were going to work together. And because I am such a planner, I said, "So, how about if we just plan to have weekly phone meetings?" And I could see in Michael's eyes, like, that's not exactly how he does things. I think he's a little bit more of a impromptu sort of a person. And Margaret was in the room, and she was sitting nearby, and she was going, "No, he doesn't do that." So we were laughing about how we all have different work styles, and it forever endeared me to him when he said to me, "I can change, Sharon, I can change. We can have weekly phone meetings if that would help you." And, he did actually figure out a way to make it work so that we were able to talk regularly, and I felt very supported by him. I thought that Michael was great. I miss him. My condolences and my heart goes out to Michael's family. I wish you all the best.
I'm Jody Mashik with the Immigration Legal Services Program in Des Moines, and I want to extend my heartfelt sympathy and condolences to you, Michael's family. I unfortunately have only had the pleasure of knowing Michael for about a year, and I say unfortunately because I know what a wonderful person he was, and I only wish I could have had the experience of knowing him much longer. I've been with AFSC just about 5 years, and although I only met Michael for the first time last year, I had heard of his name long before then and all of the good work that he had done. I think the first time I actually spoke to him was over the phone when we had to interview him for the Midwest Regional Director position last year, and it was immediately apparent what a wonderful person he was. He obviously was all the things I had already heard about. Working in immigration advocacy and working directly with immigrants, his support of our types of programs and immigrants and immigration in general immediately came through to me. I was super excited to work with him, again, especially given everything I had heard about him from all of my colleagues and peers. And again, my only regret, from a very selfish standpoint, is that I didn't get a chance to do so longer. But I am grateful for the time that I was able to work with him. I will not forget it, and it's clear to me that I'm better off for having known him for the time that I did.
My name is Leah Davis, and I am the Administrative Assistant in the Northeast Ohio AFSC office. I have been here going on 5 years now, and I just want to express my deepest sympathies to Michael's family, and let you know how much he meant to me as well as all the rest of the staff. Michael was an amazing person. There's no other way to put it. There's not too many people that you meet in your life that you just know that they are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing in life. And that was Michael. It didn't matter what he was doing, whether he was speaking, he was talking to you on the phone, sending an email, it didn't matter. He just had a passion for what he did. And not just a passion for his job, but a passion for people in general. That came through with every communication that you had with Michael. He was one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. And when I first got my job here, I remember getting a phone call from Michael, and he congratulated me on my position and welcomed me to the region and to AFSC, and I thought, wow, that was just so cool, that he would call me, just little old me, out of all the other people that he works with, that he would call me and, say what he had to say. And over the first couple of months, I think I bugged Michael quite a bit. And he always, laughed and, would just be sweet every time I talked to him, even though I probably was bugging him. I wasn't a big Mac person when I got the job here, and he told me, well, he goes, just give it a try for a couple of months. If you don't like it, I'll get you a PC, no problem. And lo and behold, I have become an Apple person all the way, and that's all thanks to Michael. But when I first started, I was working with the Eyes Wide Open program that was Michael's, complete vision, and it was an amazing experience to do that project and to work with the people and to make change in such a different way. And Michael stuck with that all the way through, and always had extra ideas, things that we could do extra to make the exhibit better, or what, things that we could add. And he was such an idea man, and he was pretty incredible to work with. Anytime you had any technological issues or anything, he was the person to go to. He knew about all the new stuff that came out, half the stuff I had never even heard of, but Michael knew what it was and could tell you how it worked, and there's just nobody that will ever replace him. Just personally and professionally, he just was a stellar human being. And I personally am going to miss him very much. So with that, I would just like to again extend my prayers and my sympathies to the family, and I'll let you know that we're all there for you in any way, and that Michael was very loved. Thank you.
My name's John Krieg. I work with the Midwest region here in Des Moines, and I've decided to write out what I wanted to say for Michael, because that way I figured maybe I'd have a chance to get through it. So I've entitled this "Working for Peace While Remembering a Great Peace Worker." There's nothing easy about the hearing of hard news, however much one might expect it. I just learned of the passing of Michael McConnell, Regional Director of AFSC's programs throughout the Midwest, a visionary for peace and justice, a leader greatly loved for his gentleness and risk-taking. In one sense, Michael moves now from the present to the past tense. In a deeper way, he remains very much a part of our future as well. Michael was my supervisor for the past 10 months, ever since AFSC's former Central Region and Great Lakes region combined in the new Midwest region, which Michael described without a hint of Quakerly restraint as the Midbest. I knew him well for a shorter span of time than many of my colleagues who worked with Michael since he came to AFSC in 1990. I doubt I can fathom their sorrow. His gifts to the service of peace and justice through AFSC were legendary, his loss immense. As we grieve his passing, it's up to us to ensure that his legacy and vision live on. One colleague of mine said that everything she's doing today feels like it's done in Michael's honor. May we continue to act in that spirit. I had the privilege of spending some time with Michael following a Midwest Regional Executive Committee meeting 2 weeks prior to his passing. Michael's optimism about his own chances was evident. He had staved off cancer before and was now involved in another quote-unquote dance with it. Michael described himself as giddy, at times as giddy, and I can only wonder at the source of his joy. He had a wonderful family to love and who loved him. He had a career given for peace and justice, his highest goals. and he saw AFSC as an important vehicle to realize those goals. In ways metaphorical and literal, Michael gave life to AFSC, and AFSC gave life to Michael. It was the most beautiful symbiosis. As times went by, Michael said that he was beginning to think more in terms of images than words. This from a person whose words could move thousands to act. I can only wonder at the images he was seeing. Perhaps the peaceable kingdom, perhaps the mountaintop which Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned but did not reach in his life. Michael's legacy will live on in the lives of those he inspired to work for peace. Of all the creative and dedicated staff whom he touched, I think especially now of the young people, the interns, the fellows, the volunteers, whom Michael loved in a special way. For he knew that as individuals our work for peace is necessarily limited by our time on earth. If we want to keep this burning flame alive for generations to come, even in the midst of darkness, we must pass on the torch to youth. Michael, you've done just that. I'm not sure how well you'll quote-unquote rest in peace. I have a sense your strong spirit will keep agitating and organizing for many years to come. Thank you, Michael.